Hey, hello.
Hey, Irvi, how's it going, man?
Fine, fine. How are you?
Good on my side as well. Things are going good. How's the giant swarm?
Yeah, so far so good. Uh, I was paged only 3 times, so yeah, and not during night. Luckily,
Oh,
actually, I
like it
was
is.
I was showing k8gb to a colleague of mine, and he
Oh,
liked it.
nice. Cool.
So we decided to make a demo to somebody else, and maybe we will use it for Panamax, but it's not decided yet. Panamax is a like external company that works for Deutsche Telekom.
Okay,
So transitively, it may end up used by Deutsche Telekom, but no promises.
interesting. And it's is it related to giant swarm or is it separate discussion?
It's a separate discussion. Like I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
w- it's not part of our offering, right? But they have a interest in like disaster recovery in general, and
Cool.
like could be good, right, to have more adapters.
Yeah, more adopters. And I have I put into the agenda today to discuss a potential. So first thing first, we need an annual review, right? Well, I think you did it last time, so we need to apply again because bot is pinging us, right, for the annual review for sandbox. But as part of the sandbox, there is like a incubation question. Are we
Mhm.
satisfying the incubation criteria? And the current incubation criteria, it doesn't mention that, like, this hard threshold of 3 production users, which looks promising. So we might apply apparently right now.
Uh-huh.
So
So
that's
did you
something to
realize?
discuss.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Looks like we can review it together today. Hey, Michal, how are you?
Hello.
Hey guys,
Hey,
good,
hey,
thanks.
nice to
All
see you
good,
again.
thanks.
Long time
Yeah,
no
nice to
see.
see you guys. Nice to see you guys.
Good to see you.
So let's start right away because I'm not sure if somebody else will join, and I have a really hard stop in 30 minutes, right? So let me share my screen and let's go through the stuff today. So usual thing, please put yourself in attendees. I'll do it for you, Irji. I'm so happy to see you again. So I'll do it. I'll just make the copy paste. Yeah.
You are
So
faster.
yeah. Yeah. So there are like a couple of long-standing PRs. I think they were discussed in the last meeting as well, and it was like Viter was waiting for review, but it was kind of opposite, I believe, because it's not super clear, like especially like is one PR should be totally deprecated. This one is definitely has a conflict. Yeah, and where is that? And another one, it seems to be containing already all the Helm chart, not only documentation, if I understand correctly. So looks like we need to deprecate the first one. This one maybe requires rebasing. I tried to run a heavy test 1 hour ago around that. It's hard to say if it's false positive or not in this case, so that's something to double check. I'll try to. And also, what is strange to me, I do not see any feedback from different pipelines that are standard. That is strange. So yeah, maybe it's because it's stale or something. It wasn't updated for a while. So Vitor is joining. That's great. Hey Vitor, how's it going?
Hello.
Hi,
Hello
Victor.
Vitor. We just discussing your PRs. Audio is still connecting. Hey, can you hear us?
Hi.
Hey
Good
Vitor,
morning or
welcome.
Good afternoon. Sorry.
Happy you joined. Cool
Sorry
stuff.
for
Welcome. So we just discussing your PRs that are amazing, and we would love to merge them, but there are some unclarities because there are two PRs, right? This one seems to be outdated in terms of it has a conflict right here, and it looks like it should be fully deprecated because you have most of the Helm chart already here. But that's something to double check. Maybe you can like merge everything into the single PR. Because there is definitely like a deprecation in a helper template, so that's something to double check. And when you do, please like it looks like we need a new commit there to get a newest pipeline feedback, because I can manually so this kind of stuff. So like if you're fine with that, please let's consolidate into single and update the branch. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
probably better. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
May I have a question, Victor?
Yeah.
Was
sure.
the number in the title of PR? Is it like your internal Jira issue or the 9
No,
to 9?
it's really the number of an issue that I open on GitHub. Well, the first one was opened by Nunu, and I reuse it, and then it was another that I opened. So that's a reference to a GitHub issue.
Gotcha.
Usually we using like something like a fixes.
Oh, okay.
And GitHub will interpolate it, so it's convenient. So like if you update the description, it will be like super straightforward later on for reference. Cool, thank you. So looking forward for the updates, and that's a cool stuff. Thank you, Peter. I think like it's supposed to be discussed on a last meeting, but unfortunately I was not around, and but the presenter was there. Tamil made a great presentation. Probably most of us already seen it, and Kubernetes Community Days Bangalore, and he had a great questions last meeting. So super happy that we have a nice community member extension and overall coverage of k8gb. That's super cool. That's what I wanted to discuss today, guys. So we are pinged by a CNCF TOC bot, which is very nice. Actually, they automated the process, and we have like a 1 month to pass nicely. I mean, 1 month before the kind of deadline. The sandbox annual review documentation, annual review process. Sorry. So I think k8gb is already familiar with that process. So he did it last year. So maybe you can give us, some context around it, like experience. But the
experience was I've created a PR and they just merged it. But unfortunately, this year I don't have bandwidth to do that because I'm going for like PTO that will take a month, and you said the deadline is in a month.
No, nice PTO.
Yeah,
Giant
going to Japan actually.
Giant PTOs. Japan, that's fancy.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I've got effectively 4 days of work.
Got it. So I'll try to pick it up, but I would like to have a reviewer on that internally, Dinar, and maybe Michal or Dinar can make a proofread of something that I will put there, and I will try to squeeze it this week or something, maybe even before you usually leave, so you can also review that. But as usual, can't promise, but I'll really try to do so. So we will hit this deadline. One important thing that I want to mention, discuss explicitly. So what I noticed in LabLaReview.com, annual review, that's a very great question, right? Do you think that your project means criteria from incubation? And then incubation for us is definitely like a next goal for the project in the CNCF career, let's say, and all levels. And what I noticed today while reviewing that stuff, I do not observe anymore like a strong threshold. No, I observe it. At least 3 independent direct adopters. Okay, 3 independent direct adopters, which means there is still a threshold, and we need who we need? We need number 3 in the k8gb adopters, and then we can apply. If you know of any candidates that we can ask around from community, please let me know. We can try to convince them to to mention them in adopters. So maybe actually Tamil can share this feedback, the new community team member, but that's apparently still a threshold, right? So independent direct adopters who are not vendor, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that's the thing. So if we get this adopter, then we will be able to apply to incubating stage, and that would be nice. Any ideas around it? Any high level candidate for adopters, or we actually need to search? Looks like we need to wait for somebody from community to appear. But anyway, yeah, I'll try to take care on a process, and we'll create this PR and we'll email CNCF2C. But before doing so, I'll definitely make like internal to KGB maintainers review. Cool. Michal, KGB light migration plan, if you have any ideas, and especially like a question with recent, from a perspective of, let me open the issues again. So like it's a new, meanwhile also old extension of service type load balancer. I think it was discussed also in our last community meeting. So question for me, from a maintainer's perspective, like assuming we want to implement this feature or any other feature effectively, do we want to migrate to KGB Lite first, or should we continue with the current state of like a main state of codebase?
Yeah, it would be better to migrate KGB Lite first, because it is so tight in the KGB. I mean, ingress with all watchers and all these stuffs, that basically it would require a lot of refactoring, you know. Well, in the KGB Lite, the thing is isolated, so that's why it is better to integrate with the KGB Lite first.
Yeah, I had the similar sentiment, especially after I've seen your presentation on KGB Lite, right, where you seen this like a modularity on a supported series. So if we agree and rest of the maintainers agree to migrate to KGB Lite, how this process would look like?
Well, that's the question. We have to keep like the KGB have to looks the same in the matter of Helm installation and all of these stuffs. So we have to like change the code, but the envelope, like these Helm stuffs, it needs
like
to stay same.
Consuming
Plus,
API, let's say.
Yeah. This consuming API, it must be same. CRD will dismiss. Documentation needs to be updated.
Okay. Will we be able to create like an issue about like a migration, and we can specify the steps and things and kind of try to take a little one by one? So it seems to be quite amount of work. What about the rest of the guys? Are you fine with this like direction, migration to a new style, KGB Lite things?
Makes sense to me. I would probably extract the Helm charts from the current repo to standalone repo and provide user a way to install either the old one or the new one, because it's in the end it's just a image, right? Container image.
Yeah, but I think we will keep the repo around, right? So they will be like a still same KGB repo. We will not migrate to KGB Lite repo, right? So we will try to like migrate code base behind. We don't want to like to lose all the stats and things, and create a confusing location. Yeah.
The question is if it should be a mirror Helm chart repo, or the Golang should stay there and Helm chart should be moved somewhere else. I don't know, like, because it's like it's the entry point to the project, right?
Yeah, that's true. On the other hand, like a separation might even complicate stuff, right? Like because, but we as publishing charts, right, to the centralized repo. So nothing will stop people to consume the older version, correct?
We have a website there as well.
Yeah. So that's yep.
Can we maybe have two controllers at the same time and have a switch, at least for the one release? Like to provide a migration, have the code which does it and does have CRD and reconciles ingresses, and the other controller doesn't, basically doesn't do it the new way, and then at some point we just drop the old one.
Yeah, that's a great point. We need some form of migration automation, right? So like that would support the process of a migration of existing environment that is k8gb enabled, and yeah, migration from old CRDs to pure ingresses or pure service objects, like in future, like this kind of stuff. Yeah, that's a great point. So that's also will be an important part of the job. And I assume you will be able to kind of make a test in APSA, right, for this migration, if there will be like, you know, from runtime perspective, like get a real examples of GSLB CRDs to make it less artificial. I mean, we can always create and we should create like a kind of test standard and you know, some test material to test the migration, but like a real acceptance test, I would imagine it would be super beneficial to perform in some, you know, low level dev environment where k8gb is running for a while, so we can catch issues. Absolutely, do you agree? And maybe MBCP also Twitter, if you have like this ability, so that would be also cool. Nice. So right, so that makes sense. Okay, that sounds like a plan. Michal or Dinar, can you maybe shortly discuss the recent release and the story behind this k8gb plugin, how it was detected, like this case sensitivity? So what actually happened? I assume something has happened in a real end-to-end usage, right?
Dinar, okay, so I will take a word. Basically, what's happening is that if we have like some microservice application, and these microservices are using k8gb and calling each other, what happened is that if the part of the DNS query was uppercased, it didn't retrieve any result, it retrieved an NX domain. And because of the caching, etc., you know, the service was off for a while because the NX domain was cached, you know, because of the negative TTL, etc. So rather than set the negative TTLs, etc., we had to find where the bug is and reproduce it. And basically, Dinar found in the log some records that uppercase is used. Then we found a way how to reproduce it. And the issue was in the k8gb core DNS plugin. So I had to rewrite code to accept uppercase queries. And now if you basically made a query which is case insensitive, it basically retrieve you the records, no matter whether the query is case sensitive, whether the query has some like capital letters or not. There is one corner case when we have, you can imagine that you have like a few domains. One is uppercase, second one is like the lowercase. So what will be the result if both of them are set and both of them contains different set of IPs? So the result is that we merge them. You know, for this special corner case, you know, you have like k8gb lowercase, k8gb uppercase. Each one is retrieving different set of IPs, so we merge them. You know, so that's it. That's what we are doing. It goes
basically. This is a bug and misimplementation of the RFC. And if you look at the HDNS servers, all of them mostly compliant, RFC compliant, and they passing through that domain. So this domain gets delegated, even though it's in uppercase, it's delegated into our infrastructure where we served the record incorrectly because we thought this domain doesn't belong to us or we don't have such record, and we returned the next domain which got cached on the HDNS server, and yeah, with all following consequences because HDNS treats it as the same record. All next records, even those are correct and servable, were returned by the Edge server saying this is the next domain.
So does it mean like a core DNS has a bug around this case sensitivity?
No, core DNS is perfectly fine. I mean, it finds the stanza. Well, the stanza, the zone described in our core file is lowercase, even though the core DNS infrastructure, the core code passed through to the plugin. So even so the record reached our code where we should serve it correctly, but we didn't.
Ah, okay. But so by RFC, if all RFC, it should treat as case insensitive. Is that correct?
Yeah, as Michal said,
Yeah.
if you have two records, one is the uppercase, one is the lowercase, you should treat them as the same and merge the resulting error set.
And it was like a chunk on our plugin where we made it case sensitive unintentionally, correct?
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
we receive the query and we look up for the IPs, and this is done by the DNS endpoint object, and of course our DNS endpoint objects are all lowercase, and the lookup basically failed because there were like 0 IPs for that particular query.
Yeah.
And 0 IPs, 0 IPs, sorry, means the index domain.
Yeah, basically, I wrote several unit tests, so all the functionality can be like, it's understandable from the test, from the test names. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great find and fix, folks. So like I can imagine that this was seriously hard to find and debug. So amazing job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and because it was like a serious issue, because when it happens, we need to fix it quickly. I just made the release as soon as possible.
Cool stuff. And
actually, the root cause, we never found who's sending such queries, but we're guessing that this is the resolver, a Windows resolver had this set, like the main name in their whatever resolver file. I'm not sure how Windows machines work nowadays, what they use to resolve and stuff. So the client used probably the short host name, and then the main name was appended from the system resolver. And most of the time, the main matches the Active Directory name, which tend to be uppercase thingy. So, but that's the theory behind the reproducer, and that request came once in, I don't know, 3 months, but it caused, of course, the outage of the whole service.
Wow. Yeah. So it was a long cached next domain after this event, right?
Well, it used to be an hour, I think, but since few releases we have it configurable. So some cases we have it set to 5 minutes, but yeah, it's still 5 minutes of outage due to one request. And RFC clearly states that the case sensitiveness, even though DNS packet is case sensitive, there is an RFC saying, hey guys, let's be case insensitive and forget about that issue.
So it's like it's not practical to be case sensitive, right, in a real world scenario.
Yeah, cool. It is possible though, but RFC says you should be case insensitive.
Cool stuff, amazing release. Yeah, it's super useful. And yeah, that's great that you pinned the salsa related dependencies a while ago. So like last release, you had some adventures, and now the release went smooth. So that's also great stuff. All right, I have a hard stop in 2 minutes. Are there any questions or updates from anybody? Anything from MBCP, reader?
No, not really. I'll just work on this finding and have this quickly fixed so we can go forward with it.
Okay, that sounds great. And all right, folks, thank you so much for joining. Very nice to see everybody. And yeah, I will probably ping end of this week or next week for this annual review PR. And Michal, looking forward to PR on the plan, on the overall migration. Happy to start working on it. And Wizard, yeah, let's merge them soon. Let's merge your stuff soon.
Yuri, are you going to Chicago to KubeCon?
It's not yet settled. So like I might be at ArgoCon, but it's not yet approved. Yeah, so you'll see. I mean, like I send the CFP to ArgoCon, and if it will be accepted, then I will join. If not, then not. And you'll be there?
Oh, I'm not going, but I wanted to ask about the booth if we want to apply for that stand.
Yeah, if somebody in Chicago, please let me know, and we can arrange the k8gb booth, right? But I personally cannot yet guarantee like that I will be around. So if somebody there, please let everybody know. All right, folks. Thank you so much, and see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye. Cheers.
Take care.
See you. Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.